Good evening. Hey, what's up, folks? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. What a lovely evening it is, and as you can tell, there's a couple out there having a great time, family having a great time out there. Looks like a 6-second swell at about 1 foot as well. Oh my gosh, someone out there also on a surfboard giving it a shot. Well, anyways, I hope your evening is beautiful as well. And wow, what a week. What a week it's been. What 2 weeks it's been, 3 weeks. This is crazy, like dollar up weeks on silver. Now I'm talking about silver. Gold's just been crazy for the last few years, but silver is definitely playing catch up. And I think something that many people have ignored, not ignored, but it's, when you're stacked heavily in silver and you don't have a lot of platinum, the performance of platinum is just phenomenal. Take a look at this. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, if you look at some of my videos, that, I was buying platinum. I was saying, hey, listen, I don't know why, but nobody wants platinum. It's dead. You can buy it at a discount. It's sub $1,000. I mean, as low as the high 700s, mid 700s, I think even at one point in the last 3 or 4 years. But I mean, just wow, what a performance on platinum. And I can't say I didn't expect it. I've been saying for a long time it's the red-headed stepchild of metals. I mean, it was just like ignored, hardly sold any for decades plus, quite honestly. But I think people are going to start wake up, and they already are, and looking at platinum and saying, wow. Palladium, the same thing, even though a market I understand nothing about, haven't sold much palladium, I don't think. But still, palladium was trading not too long ago in the distant past here, not too distant past, in that same range, at 900, maybe 850, 900 plus range. So not bad performance palladium, maybe a little bit laggard at this point, and some room to run there as well. Because remember, palladium was trading at $5,000 when platinum was trading at $1,200, $4,000, and $3,000. Probably a lot of industrial demand there. But let's go back to something that most people own, most stackers own, not most people. I'm talking about the one percenters, we're going to call ourselves one percenters, stackers. Stackers are the one percenters of Americans or less that own silver and gold and platinum coins and bars as a hedge, and knowing that the future would bode well for them. Again, I've constantly said that less than 1% of Americans own gold, silver, and platinum coins and bars, and that type of investment. And, it's still true. So let's call ourselves the one percenters. I think we can get away with that. Gold, 38, 33, just keeps consistently breaking all-time highs. It's almost like getting boring. It's like watching Mike Tyson win round after round after round after round. I'm not saying boring. It's quite exciting and good, and actually a real tell of the times. And we're going to talk about gold mostly here in a little bit. And as you can tell, probably what is the title of my video here. And but gold 38, 33. 70 up 73.84. I mean, just like significant. All these metals doing extremely well. And again, silver, a laggard as far as I'm concerned, as well as probably platinum and palladium, a laggard in commodities and things that we really need in life, as far as the readjustment for the price. Gold, driven mostly by central banks and banks in general, central banks, governments, and the powers to be that know what real money is, which is gold and silver. But as a guy, silver is twofold, as we've talked about many times. And I think Vince Lancy mentions it quite a bit on X. And silver is not just, about an investment. Silver is also about industry. It's two things, Silver has a dual use here. And that even makes it more volatile to the upside. And again, that's something I've been saying for years and years and years. Metal's doing really good, folks. It's hard not to. It's the only way you'd be disappointed right now is if you didn't have your stack as big as or as much as you wanted. Where you're thinking to yourself, well, I could have bought last year or year before. Well, don't kick yourself. You coulda, woulda. Doesn't help you now. And what do I tell people right now at these levels? Should you jump in more? I don't think you're gonna go broke at these levels at all. When I say should you jump in more, I'm not giving advice here, but if someone asked me, should I jump in right now? I don't have any gold and silver, platinum. I said, sure, why not? It's really about wealth preservation and long term. You should never look at it, in my opinion, as a way to get rich quick. However, it's harder and harder for me to say that when I can look people in the eyes and say, "Gosh darn, I think I told you about 2 or 3 years ago you should have done this, or 4 years ago you should have done this," when it was like a third of the price. But I don't want to be the told you so guy. Well, let me get out of here. Spot prices looking good. 46.94. Unless we see some kind of smackdown, which kind of, it's hard not to expect a smackdown, especially if you've been following silver for years and years. You get those highs, and then all of a sudden, bam, 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 it's knocked down. It's all paper bullshit, paper that knocks it down. But it still gets knocked down. We just haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen a fall. I mean, are we going to run right through that $50 price? I mean, tough to say. I mean, it sure looks like it. I mean, if we keep going on the trajectory that we're going right now, without any tapering or anything kind of falling back or getting knocked down, that $50 mark is going to be like sailing in the sun after 2 or 3 weeks. But and remember what I've said for some time, $50 is a psychological level on so many different ways. Even seasoned investors, people that invest in and are very familiar with investing in commodities and investing, get caught up in that thought of $50 silver in 1980 or $50 silver in 2012 and the dynamics that drove those particular markets. Those two markets, we have both the dynamics, in my opinion, going on. We have squeezes going on, physical squeeze. We have a squeeze going on. We have very little physical available for what is probably needed out there. We have, besides the squeeze going on, what are the two dynamics we have? I'm sorry, I kind of lost my thought there. But geez, I hate it when I do this. All right, forgive me. But we have a couple of different dynamics going on. As I had mentioned before, 2012, I'm getting back to track on here. 2012, 1980, totally two different markets. 1980, you had high gold prices and silver kind of following that on the ratio, and the Hunt brothers realizing that there wasn't as much silver out there and squeezing the entire world for silver, which caused that $50 price. But again, remember, $50 in that time, 1980, is a lot different than $50 now. This is stuff that we talk about all the time. You don't want to rehash that. 2012 market was a result of paper as well. You know what I mean? Filling paper obligations out there and ETFs that were out there, and the overall demand for silver for electronic and industry use. I'm sorry, now I got back on track there. Industry use. So I mean, you had big things. You had 2008. I mean, 1980. You didn't really have the industry use. You had the investment, and you also had the squeeze going on there on physical. But you have the similar thing now is there's a squeeze on physical because there's not a lot of physical out there, maybe a lot of paper that says there's, but not a lot of physical, and you got to make product with physical. And you've got the same thing going, and you got industry. You got industry sucking up all this. So sorry, finally got back on track there. Sorry about that. Sometimes it's easy for me to jump down rabbit holes and forget which hole I jumped in. It's been a long day too. Let's just take a look at, buy the dips, folks. If there's dips on here, buy them, because I don't think that this bull is anywhere near over right now. We're seeing an accelerated version of everything. We've been in a bull since 2016 in gold, silver, and platinum. In my opinion, it's been a long-term bull, but a slow curve upward. And now we're kind of seeing that candlestick kind of action, which is kind of scary to me. But, it's different. It's just different now than it was in the two highs of silver. And gold, again, just continually making highs. It's like watching Mike Tyson just continually knock out opponents, But out of all this, how much of it do you hear in news and corporate media? Not much at all. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? All right, let's not jump down that rabbit hole. Everything across the board. I like to put this up, Dow Jones, SP, not that I'm any kind of stock expert or Bitcoin, but to give perspective on where gold's at right now. Gold's there. Everything in the green except for crude oil. And I think if you constantly look at charts like this, even if you don't remember the numbers, you'll remember the green, the patterns of things. And that's what I'm kind of getting at right now. I mean, it's kind of interesting that stocks, bonds, and all these things are up, except crude oil, which kind of drift around there. Yet gold is up as well. I mean, it's kind of contrary. In the past, when equities were really, really doing well, gold and silver never did that great. Bitcoin, don't know anything about it, but still interesting chart to watch. I think I just saw some guy, Tyler Durden, not from Zero Hedge, but Tyler Durden on X, was saying that he doesn't think you'll see below 110,000 Bitcoin again. We'll see. It's so volatile. That's a pretty bold statement, but we'll see. Again, not advocating Bitcoin. I'm just showing all these kind of different assets that exist out there right now in reality, not whether you like them or not. All right, well, let me get out of that. And where are we going here? Well, I'm going to go into what the title gold revaluation is imminent. That a lot of people are talking about gold revaluation, but let me preface it with this. If you do something bad is going to happen with you. Now, I didn't vet who this person was and whether they said it or not, so forgive me if didn't fact check this quote here. Give me one sec. However, it's a really astute comment. If you do something bad is karma. It's basically karma, and that's probably some Indian guy that said something about karma, but, it's kind of, bad things generate bad things and equal bad things and, negative, negative, negative. And that's kind of what we're looking at right now. A lot of people are saying, well, the gold revaluation imminent. Now, this is Tyler Durden, who writes for Zero Hedge right here, which I've been a subscriber and supporter of a long time. But, gold revaluation imminent. U.S. Treasury hoards top 1 trillion for the first time. A lot of you probably are seasoned, you understand all this, and you've heard this for a while, and you kind of know where this is going. And some of you even thought about this a long time ago, which is something that, we talked about in our videos like years ago, about reevaluating gold. We're there. I mean, they're possibly there. I mean, they're talking about maybe reevaluating our supply of gold. Now, while this has not been confirmed, and it's such a crazy that you can't get any kind of indication from the White House. I mean, they're hucking and ducking, and they're moving from side to side, and so it's hard to tell what they're really doing at any given moment. But gold revaluation is just out there. It's in mainstream right now. Everyone's talking about it. The banks are buying gold. That's who's buying gold. That's why gold is so high. Industry is not buying gold. Americans are not buying gold. Maybe investors outside of America are buying gold. I think the Chinese are buying gold, and Indians have always bought gold, but it's not. Americans are buying gold, and I think they're kind of pushing that right now. Gold is all about money. It's not about industry. It's about money. Gold revaluation is all about taking the gold that the United States own in Fort Knox. knock on wood. I knocked on my wooden head there, but that we own, or we believe we own, but you got to hope that we own the gold that they say we do, whatever it is. Forget how many tons they say we own, but America, and when I say America owns gold, and gold is going to be revalued, I'm talking about the gold at Fort Knox. Again, I'm talking about the gold that America owns, not the gold that an administration owns of any particular type, whether it's Obama, whether it's Trump, or whether it's Reagan, or whoever, future administrations. They don't own the gold. Treasury Department doesn't own the gold. The government doesn't own the gold. The people own the gold. We own the gold. That is our gold, folks. No matter how you slice and dice it, that's our gold. So, here's my kind of point. For those of you who've been following this gold revaluation imminent, some of the people say, "Wow, that's great. That's a great idea. Why don't we just take the debt that we owe?" All right. And we'll pay it off with our gold that's underpriced, or not pay it off, but we'll reevaluate our gold that's underpriced to pay off debt. Well, it's a brilliant idea for a drowning person. It's a brilliant idea for someone going bankrupt. It's a brilliant idea for someone that has no other choices out there. But if you really think about it, folks, what's happening? Your gold is being stolen from you. Your gold is being used. All that value that we've hoarded for years and years and years by valuing gold at $42, all that perceived value in that gold shot to hell if you revalue it to much higher prices just to pay off the effing debt that these crooks in D.C. built up over these years. And that's been siphoned off the top, and not to mention your tax money on top of it. But don't get me going on this. This is just like bend over America. Bend over. Hey, you know what? They throw the Vaseline in there. What's the Vaseline? We'll pay off the debt. Oh, it'll be so nice when we pay off the debt. Everything will be great. Everything will be better. Oh, your life. Bullshit. Have they stopped spending? Have they stopped spending on the military? Have they stopped spending on anything? Have they reduced government in any significant way other than mouth and lip service? No, they haven't. You know, give me a break, all right? All they're doing is looting America's gold to pay off the ridiculous debt and the ridiculous expenditures that these idiots in D.C. have made for decades and decades and decades. It's a pure theft. So, you know, here's what I'm going to say to America: bend over. You know what? And here's the real truth of the matter is where is it? Right there, my friend. If you do something bad is going to happen to you, with you. And this is America. This is you and I. We did something bad, folks. We really did. We trusted these motherfuckers. And excuse me, I said it. That might lower my video count a little bit, but we trusted them. And what did they do? They stuck it up our rear ends. That's the best thing I can say. And so, you know, all that gold, that $1 trillion revaluation that's potentially may happen, it's just a looting of America. It's a looting of our savings. It's to pay off the debt of morons and idiots. All right, I'm going to leave it with that. You know, that's the best I can say. And you know what? Do we blame the current administration for this? Well, let me pause here for a second here. Yeah, kind of. I think we can. We don't blame the current administration for the idea of coming up, or maybe the idea of reevaluating gold and using it to pay our debts, because that's what you do when you're bankrupt. That's what you do when you have no money. You sell your assets. You give away your assets, and you hope that you can build back again. Maybe that's what build back again means. But it's it. That's it, folks. We gave it away. We gave away $1 trillion if we do this to pay off debt. And whose debt? Debt to who? Debt to the bankers? Debt to who? Debt to bondholders? You know, debt to the mega wealthy? I mean, yeah, you gave away your gold to pay off debt to people you probably don't even like. All right. I'm done with that. I'm not going to go any further. That's just my opinion. I'm sticking with it. So when you do something bad is going to happen to you. So when you vote for these people in D.C., no matter how well-intentioned you think they are, no matter how much of a lesser evil they may seem, all right. I'm gonna give it up there, folks. I'm giving up the ghost on that one. All right. So gold revaluation imminent. I'm not going to say this is actually going to happen, but there it is. You want the honest assessment of it. That's exactly what it is. It's just bend over America. You've just been robbed of all your potential savings and your future savings there. But $1 trillion because these people can't spend properly. And again, God, I'm just repeating myself. Makes you angry, doesn't it, a little bit? Makes me angry. All right, let me get out of there because again, I'm in a loop. Boom, boom, boom. We're in a loop about that. Let's see if we do revaluation. Hopefully we don't. I'd rather see them just cut spending dramatically, and a whole bunch of other fiscally responsible things that Washington, D.C. and this current administration has not proven itself to be. All right, no matter how well-intentioned they are, and even if they were better than the alternative, they're not doing it right. All right, well, I'm going to get into last week's video, which is you don't want to be living in a world of $5,000 gold. Now, this is me making fun of that comment that I heard, for years and years, a lot of us seasoned gold stackers and silver stackers that I heard, well, man, if gold's $5,000, it's going to be like bread's going to be like $1,000, $100 a loaf. Well, I was going to say, I had to pause for a second. I was going to say, well, we're not there. It's not there. It's not happening really. And, we're not in a world of everything's torn apart, but man, things are sure looking crazy here and squirrely here coming up. Hard to tell what's going on, out there, especially with world politics, international politics. Usually when a country's going broke, they usually start a big war. That's what we do in the United States. We get a big war going on somewhere, or find some way to get everyone all hurrahed up in a big war. It's a distraction. Plus, it feeds the machine as well, the military industrial. All right. Oh, gosh darn. There I go, another rabbit hole. All right. Let me talk about a world of $5,000 gold. Oh, I got a sip. It's been a long day, like I said. Easy to get me wound up. But one sec. So your buttons. Answer questions to that video, and I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to go down to the bottom and try to answer the old questions. Quite a few of them here. Oh, wow. Good morning to everyone. 3780. Boy, yeah, that's old news even now. 6 days ago. Take a look at that. Dave posted the price out there. You already do. Thank you, sir. I'm not quite sure what that is. Excellent shit. Thank you, living the dream. The miners want a world of $5,000 gold and making a lot. It's kind of interesting. I'm not quite necessarily the miners are making a lot of money because an interesting topic that Vince from BBL, I talk about Vince a lot, but Vince Lancey's kind of like a guy that's able to explain the technical aspects in a layman's point of view to get you kind of understand what's going on. And that is really important because a lot of this stuff is like, wow, if you're not familiar with a lot of the terms in the trading industry and how gold and silver and how derivatives and all this stuff, if you don't even know what a derivative is, Vince is one of those guys that'll help you understand. So speaking of miners, all right. Vince mentioned something about not bragging or extolling virtues of gold right now. Some pre-miners sell metal at fixed prices, but I encourage you really to go out and let me see what the question was because I kind of, again, yeah, miners want a world of $5,000 gold. So Vince put out here, who's not bragging or extolling virtues of gold now? And I said the gold mining execs, or he said the gold mining execs. Ask yourself why. My question to Vince and comment out there was, my understanding some miners pre-sell metal at fixed prices lower now and are obligated to sell at the price despite higher gold prices now. So the incentive for some may not be quite there. How do they profit from gold prices is my question. To sell more future production. How far out will entities buy gold on delayed delivery from a mine? If it's not obvious, and I always tell Vince, I really got to be honest, I don't know anything about miners. I'm totally ignorant. I am a rare coin, precious metal, gold, silver bar coin expert that sells physical gold, physical metal, not futures, not contracts, not ETFs. So, and not mining stocks. So, that's not my expertise. So, and I also mentioned that here. But Vince had a very interesting, he says that they underhedge or do derivative trades and or operated leverage. Price is higher. They mine more or they get screwed by the market. And I appreciate that. And there was another good comment out there that Vince made, and I can't find it right here. But anyway, highly recommend you follow this guy, VBL's Ghost, Vince Lancey on X, one of the smarter technical guys out there that breaks it down and makes it easy to understand for us lay folks out there like myself. All right, questions. Let's keep going on here. You better figure out a way to because it's coming, like it or not. Can't argue with that. $5,000 goal must be this guy's fault. Not really. Kind of, if you just read how I broke it, if you just listen to how I broke it down, it's not Trump's fault, but Trump's got to deal with it. And, sometimes, even though something's not your fault, you have to fix the problem. And you can either fix the problem or maybe make it worse or maybe not fix it the right way. There's the real questions right there. So no one can blame Trump for this right now, other than, he was in charge at one point too as well. So maybe there's a little bit of blame. I love what you had to say. Common sense. Thank you, Linda. I really appreciate that. I really do. Long-time listener there. Great show. Crypto Call. Mark, thank you that. Maria Langley. Spirit-filled mindset. I would love to live in a world of 5,000. It should be way higher. Bring it on. $5,000 gold. Well, we'll probably see it. Listen, there's some people way smarter than I are talking like 6,000 and higher. If you listen to Vince recently, if he says he tied to the M2, it's like 12,000. And again, these are guys that are really smart and understand these markets. So, we're in different times, folks. It could go crazy. Marco Aurelius, Algo, thank you, brother. When we're going to see you in the store again here, I hope soon. Welco Services, bacon. Well, you know what? No matter what's going on in the world, no matter how bad things are, all you got to say is bacon. At least for me, bacon. Okay. I go into this mindset. Yeah, bacon makes everything good. I feel that 5,000 gold is just a start. We're not beginning to see gold's potential. I fully expect to see 10,000. Wow. Okay. I mean, Dwight Smith, that is not unreasonable. A lot of really bright people. I'm keeping it super conservative, super conservative. That way, if, something big happens, I'll even be that much more surprised. Icing on the cake. If Bitcoin can be over 100K, why can't gold? No argument with that. 100K. 100K. Well, comparatively speaking, I think value-wise, I really couldn't argue with that. I mean, if you look at but anyways, I'm not going to jump down that rabbit hole either. Uh, Burned to the ground, don't threaten me with a good time. This has never done anything for me. Dustin, calm down, brother. Let me buy you a drink sometime if you're ever in Lauderdale by the Sea. Come by my store, Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. If you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum for any price, we'll beat the online sellers at MexJMSD, and we'll beat the locals as well. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Friday. Been open a long time. I've been doing this since 77. So, Dustin, yeah, calm down, brother. Come in and buy some coins and precious metals for me for a really good price. And let me buy you a drink. And gosh darn, it sounds like a burger and fries too, just to kind of get you happy again. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. I find you don't want to live in a world where gold is X dollars, as ignorant silly. How does the argument stand up to gold going from $35 to $3,500? Did you listen to the video, Land Cobra Bear? Land Cobra? Um, you have to listen to the video. Some people just take a title. You can't judge a book by its title. Some titles don't even match what's inside the book, and it could be a great book, could be a terrible book too. But no, my title was kind of more of a meme that you hear. I don't want to live in a world of $5,000. All right, so you got to listen to it, brother. Appreciate listening anyway. Just listen to the whole video. I don't trust any gold or silver from. Well, you know what? There are brothers too, man. I mean, I don't trust any gold or silver from sources that I'm not familiar with and I can't go face to face. That's why you can come to Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea and buy gold from me face to face there. Not worry about where it's coming from. And yeah, I'd have Chinese employees too. I don't really care. It's people are good all over the world, but it's always best to deal to face to face with people. So I wouldn't be ordering anything out of China or out of Ohio or Washington, D.C. if I didn't live there either. All right, thanks. 5K gold comes with shrapnel. Woo! I'm not quite sure what you meant by that, but does that mean, interesting. That's a very cryptic statement. I don't buy gold because, thanks to Liquid Electrum, recognize that name. Don't buy gold because I want to want it to up. I want to buy gold because I'm afraid it'll go up. Rick Rule. Yeah, I like that guy. He's a pretty smart dude. Thank you, gold and silver. Appreciate that. It's a monetary reset, not a monetary normal. Good comment there. I appreciate that, Celtics. That's the Celtics, I think it is. When are you going to come back to the show? Tony Begg, sodium bicarbonate, and I went into the blood of the patient. Interesting. That was a very kind of interesting cryptic statement if you didn't watch last week's video or this video that he's commenting on. Thank you, sir. We already live in a world of 100,000 Bitcoin. Bring it on. Exactly. When priced in Canada or Australia, it's already priced over 5K. Wow. Yeah. So in Canada or Australian dollars, it is 5,000. Technicals are showing a pullback to around $3,500. I think that'll be a great place to buy before the next leg up 5,000. Interesting. We haven't seen it yet. Silver lining, but not impossible. You're a seasoned stacker. You've been kind of waiting for this smackdown. I guess we all are. And again, a great opportunity to buy the dip and not to panic. Don't panic sell. Just my opinion, of course. Bitcoin is where gold should be. I can't argue with that. I really can't. Why not? It should be 50,000. The world needs to get rid of the dollar. We don't want to live in a world with dollar. You go, yep. Listen, preaching to the choir there, brother, but I believe in make-believe fantasy world. Nothing is not. I want to live in the world gold and silver is control freedom. Oh, there you go, brother. A hard money constitutionalist like it. Bitcoin, something you can't hold 100, so 5K. Wow, guys. Very, very, thank you, Christine. Appreciate that. You can't hold it. You're absolutely right. Let roll silver, and you need gold and silver to have Bitcoin. Think about that. That's what causes electronic connections in your phones and your connections. So, without gold and silver, there would be no Bitcoin. That's a fact. Let's roll silver. You go, brother, Steven. Funny part is who's going to buy all the little stackers of metals, the military industrial complex. So they're going to have to do this. Okay, like I said, confiscate euros. So don't the people win? Nope, only the super rich. Washington elite sucks, don't it? Woo! Wow, went pretty deep there, Brian. But I'll let other listeners out there and other people reading this kind of comment on that. Thanks for listening, Brian Parrish. I really appreciate it. And again, appreciate your opinion. We moved to the Treasure Coast in Twin, so I don't go to Broward much. Hey, well, I love the Treasure Coast. I'd move there myself, but it's getting crowded all over Florida. But if you're down this way, make sure you come by and say hello. Call first to make sure I'm in, too. Love to meet my listeners. Gold to 86.83. Oh, silver to 170. From your lips to the ears of the heavens. Very nice. Thank you, Sean Gralla. Russell King says, from what I'm hearing, I would take gold price fitting to cover the maturing debt. Interesting. I thought it was going to be higher than that, but the rest of the debt, which is growing, would take a gold price of 148,000. Wow. Well, good. I think you've done your math there. I haven't fact checked it, but Russell King, you're on the right path there. That's probably about true if you're really going to do it and you're really going to fully cover the debt. But they're just going to cover partial debt. And again, bend over America. They're going to steal your savings to do it. That's just my opinion. Get used to it's almost here. Like that statement. Just think U.S. stable coin. There you go, stable coin. Thank you. Brian, if you're still looking for help in melting. By the way, I read that, John Wellman. Really appreciate that. I got your phone number. I just haven't had a chance to do that and give you a call, but I do have a couple questions for you. And I just kind of get caught up with things. But man, I always appreciate when people are willing to help with anything. Thank you so much. And I hope I'm helpful with what I do. I'm in miners. I want 5,000 gold. Thank you. Yeah, Billy, I do too. Gold for the rich, silver for the working class, copper for the poor. Interesting. I want $5,000 silver. Yeah, I do too. Ooh, that'd be nice. I don't know. $5,000 silver, that probably wouldn't be good for bread. Bread price would be $100, I'm sure. I don't want to live in a world where fake coin is 100K. Interesting. Great statement. Bankers don't want to live in a world where actual money is used to store value. Oh, guys, you guys are witty out there today. The problem has been that metal manipulation hasn't allowed for a free market. So the real question is, what should the price be if I'd been in a free market? Getting deep there. What's the rate if I'd been in a free market? Well, on you know what? Probably a lot lower. Things would be not as bad. Money might be real. I don't know. That's my question. I still check you out for once in a while. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Nice to see you back there, D-Man. This is what long stackers have been waiting for. Absolutely. Ken Peters says 500 ounces, one missile. For centuries AG was used as money. It still is money. It's money and something else, as Vince Nancy would say. Prices are at $5,000 gold, so let's get there. All right, folks, if you haven't, please hit that like and subscribe button to my videos. I really appreciate it. That's the like button right there, and the subscribe button is, well, I don't think I can subscribe to myself, but it's there somewhere. Subscribe or something like that. So really appreciate that. And that's it. If you're looking to buy rare coins, precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, you live in South Florida, we're the place to come to. We're cheaper than Atmex, SDJ, and Bullion, as I said a couple times, and the locals. And there's a lot of good locals, not so good, but a lot of good locals, but we'll still beat them. And nothing wrong with that. That's what you want to do. You want to compete against the best guys out there, and that's what we do at Commercial Rare Coins. And also, if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum in large quantities, and you don't live near our area and can visit our store, we can help you with bank wires and other type, forms of payment and confirmations as well. If you don't have a good local dealer, and if you're buying smaller quantities, folks, shop around. Go find yourself a good local dealer. Get outside town. The problem with the smaller deals is I just can't ship that kind of stuff out. I can't compete. But on larger deals, we can on shipping. Anyway, have a great evening. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.